Today, the Motorhead crew welcomes guests with the ultimate Overland RV. We check out the best in rock lights for your ride, plus car care and maintenance tips you can take to the bank. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
We are Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Now, maybe you love the idea of overlanding, camping out in the wilderness. It sounds great, but getting in and out of a tent on top of your vehicle, that's a hassle and that can get old pretty quickly. There's a solution, and Globe Trekker has it. What does Globe Trekker do? How can you give me the good life in the great outdoors?
Well, we are an Overland Expedition Vehicle Solutions company, and we do all of our engineering in-house, and we just build the best with the best materials, the best products that you can get. And it's all DIY. So all of the panels, all the extrusions, the adhesives, the bracketry, everything that you see comes with the kit. If you can run a caulk gun and run a tape measure, you're 99% there. It's so easy.
DIY, so how does this whole process begin once I decide I've got a vehicle I want to convert into a camper?
Right, so you have a chassis, and we figure out what the cab to axle chassis is, how long your frame is that's available, and then we help you decide what zero torsion subframe would fit on that chassis, and then what habitat would fit on that zero torsion subframe.
Let's rewind a little bit. Let's talk about the range of vehicles I can possibly use with the Globe Trekker system.
We do everything from about 8 foot of bed space to up to 24.5 feet. So that's a pretty awesome, very large habitat.
That's a big rig.
Big rig.
So once I've decided what vehicle I want to use, how does the process work with you guys at Globe Trekker?
So I double check with you about what size frame, what size habitat, what type of habitat you want. I send you engineering prints. You say yes. As soon as you say yes, and this is what I want, you put 50% down, and then about 8 weeks later, you get a flat pack kit with all of your items on it.
So if I don't want to build this thing myself, or I can't do it, what are my options?
Your options are that we have a network of builders throughout the United States and into Canada. So if you don't have the space, you don't have maybe the ability to do it, we do have builders that can help you out. And many of the builders, they will either do a turnkey or a la carte. So let's say that, hey, I'm not so good with the solar, I don't really understand it. You can tell them what electronic items that you have. They will design a solar kit for you, and even if you can't put it on, they can put it on there for you. It just kind of like is what you need.
When I get my kit from Globe Trekker and I take it to my builder, I'm essentially just getting the shell, and which is amazing. We'll talk about that in a minute here. And then what kind of stuff is the builder going to finish off for me?
The builder is going to finish off putting your habitat together. So putting your shell together, gluing your panels into the aluminum extrusions, doing some finish caulking, and it depends on what you want. They could be doing windows, they could put the door in for you, like I said, all the way up to that turnkey solution.
You mentioned a zero torsion subframe. Why is that so important on a vehicle like this?
Because you're in an environment with uneven terrain, and you want your vehicle to be able to have some frame twist in it. If it doesn't have any frame twist, you're likely to tricycle a wheel and lose traction. So you want to have all your wheels touching the ground. So this zero torsion subframe allows your truck to do that while maintaining a zero torsion in your habitat. If your habitat is beginning to flex, anything that flexes a lot pretty soon starts to crack, and now you have a break, and you're having leaking issues, and that's what we're trying to avoid with a zero torsion subframe.
And so what you're ending up with is an off-road, an all-terrain motorhome.
Absolutely.
A regular motorhome's going to tear itself apart.
An RV on steroids.
Got it. So what makes this thing work? What makes it so comfortable inside?
So first is the extrusion, and we have a thermal brake in the extrusion. This thermal brake is an R14, and it helps prevent heat or cold transfer into the inside of your habitat. So there's no condensation issues. Even if there was a condensation issue, the panel that we use is an R17. It is extremely strong, and it is impervious to water because it does not have any organic products in it. So you're not going to have the rot, you're not going to have the formaldehyde smell. It's made with polyisosanurate foam, which is closed cell foam. This is the highest rated fire retardant foam that is on the market.
You mentioned the thermal break there in the aluminum. What are some other things about the construction that make this unique in the business?
We also have double glued channels on each side. We have an area here where you can run your wiring, and we have 80/20 slots on the outside, so it's very easy to run brush guard material, very easy to mount solar panels. You just bolt it on there. It's super, super easy and very, very strong. You'll notice that our brush guards has internal ribs inside of it. It's made to just be absolutely beefy. I've seen stuff that could barely resemble electrical conduit on vehicles, and that stuff is not going to hold up. This stuff will.
And with all those glue channels, there's no way this thing's going to leak.
No way it's going to leak. It's got 8 seals. Once you put this panel in here, 8 seals. And these things go together so fast, you can build a habitat in 3 to 4 days. It's just like playing with Legos. You glue, you put the panel in, you let it dry, you're on to the next panel.
These guys have thought of everything. Hey, why go overlanding and rough it when you can live the good life out on the trails? It is an RV on steroids. You can get it from Globe Trekker at rvglobetrekker.com. These things are amazing. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com, so don't touch that dial.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. And by Campbell's Custom Care, your detail specialist.
If you've tuned into Motorhead Garage before, you've probably seen the clamp tight tool. And it's an amazing tool that has all kinds of applications. Sonora, your father invented the clamp tight tool, and you've perfected it and brought it along here. What can the clamp tight tool do? Why does somebody need one for folks that haven't seen it before?
This is an amazing little tool, and what you can do is you can use it as a reducer. This is a big pin to a 1/2-inch hose. You can use it as a banding tool. So if you need to band things together, those ratchet type banders, so you can use the clamp tight that way. But you can make the best hose clamp. It's the right size, the right shape clamp.
So how do I use the clamp tight tool?
Well, let's start out. We're gonna measure our wire and see how much wire we need to use. So the easiest way to do it, you can wrap the wire around the project like this and give yourself about 6 inches on one end and then go around 4 times. And then we're gonna cut here. That assures us, even if you have a more rigid wire, then it's gonna work. So go to the middle and then straighten them out.
And that'll find your center point, and you'll know where to start.
Exactly.
It's going to be the same no matter what kind of wire you're using?
You can use almost any kind of wire with this tool, and that's one of the things that's so impressive. You can use it with a coat hanger, a tie wire, electric fence wire. Be careful with copper because it's so soft. It'll stretch and then pull loose. The stainless steel is our favorite, and we do sell stainless steel on our website. It's more corrosive resistant, and we have it in like a 304, a 316 stainless, even a 400 for marine application.
So engineers out there are going to know exactly what they need. For sure.
Absolutely. As you have the tool and you have the wire, you're the engineer. So we fold the wire in half, go through there twice. Now we're going to separate these, make sure they're straight, and then this is where we're going to connect the tool.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn it this way. Bring the wire over the pins on each side. That's where the pressure is, and it needs to be nice and snug. Now check it out. This is why the tool works so well. We folded the wire in half and we have that loop, right? So we're going to put that loop in that notch on the nose. Actually, you're pushing against the outside part of the wires. The insides of the wires,
because you're wrapped around there, is also pulling.
Exactly. That's why the tool works so well. It actually pushes and pulls and evenly distributes the pressure. How many times have you taken a pair of pliers and a piece of wire and you twist it to get it tight? Fine line between tight and broke. So what this does is it reduces the friction that's delivered to that wire.
And with a regular hose clamp also, you're getting all the pressure in one spot, and it can kind of make a flat spot there, but this is going all the way around.
Exactly. You know, they have tested hose clamps and there's nothing consistent about the pressure that it holds.
Really?
And a regular hose clamp, it's difficult to actually inspect it for failure because underneath a regular hose clamp, a lot of times there's corrosion there and it'll break. That's where it'll pull loose. With a clamp tight, you can see how nice of a clamp that makes.
Yeah. And for folks that maybe they're doing a hot rod or something like that and they want the original look of these top post clamp like this or a regular hose clamp, you can put the hose clamp on around the clamp tight clamp. There you get the great seal and the aesthetics you want from the tower clamp there. But let's finish this one off and see how you complete the clamp tight clamp itself there.
Okay, so if you have the room, you're going to pivot the tool all the way. That locks it. Let's say you have limited space. You're going to keep the tool straight up and down. You're going to tighten it in this position. All you need is a 30-degree angle off center.
Just to get it up over the hump.
Just go over the hump, and now you're going to cut these and then bring them down one by one, because a lot of our customers are asked this very same thing. I love the tool, but I can't use it in tight spaces, but this way you can.
And you have different size tools to accommodate smaller spaces too.
We do, actually, yeah. We have our mini. It's about half the size of the other one, and a lot of the builders love that. So we're going to push your ends toward the middle, lock them in place. There you have it.
Excellent. Well, there's a billion different applications for clamp tights clamps here. You can find all the different sizes and you can find lots of different applications at clamptighttools.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage, so do not move.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, coming to you from the Campbell's Custom Care Studio.
Hey there, Motorheads. This is your show, Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Now, you know that there's all kinds of ways to modify your vehicle and personalize it. Now, we have the Golden Cummins here from Adrenaline Off-Road. Mitchell, you can go extreme like this, but you found there's a simpler way for folks to call attention to their vehicle. What's that?
Yeah, so obviously you can spend a lot of money modifying your truck, making it look absolutely insane, but there are ways that you can modify your vehicle that do not break the bank and let you stand out in a big way and draw a lot of attention to your vehicle. And one of the best things that I've found over the years of modifying my truck is lighting it up. And there's nothing better to use than an LED rock light.
Now, you've gone extreme with the rock lights here on the Golden Cummins here. How many do we have underneath?
We have 120 rock lights on this truck, which is absolutely abnormal and absurd. Normally somebody can buy either an 8 or a 12-piece kit of this rock light and it lights up their whole entire underneath their vehicle, but obviously being the company vehicle, we had to lead by example and just go absolutely absurd and over the top with this.
Well, 120 is the record, so if you want to go for the record, there it is. Let's talk about your rock lights here. What makes them different from the other ones I might find out there on the market?
Yeah, so first of all, with this rock light right here, it is an all-in-one solution. This is the highest powered, full functioning RGB plus W rock light currently on the market, which means you can change it to any color you want, red, green, purple, blue, whatever you want, but it also has a pure white dedicated diode into it, so you can get the pure white effect as well.
You have all these color options, but you find a lot of folks are just running white.
So a lot of the times people are looking for just a crisp, clean, pure white underglow under their truck. And with this product right here, you get the pure white as well as all the other color options. So it's an all-in-one solution for your rock light needs.
Now, how bright are we talking? How much power is coming from these lights?
So each one of these rock lights produces 42 watts of power, making it the brightest and most powerful full-functioning RGBW rock light currently on the market.
I know everybody's asking, what are these like to install? Can I do it myself?
Absolutely. So it's actually really not that bad to install these things. So what's involved first is this control module. So this right here is simply going to connect to the positive and negative battery terminal. And then on the other end, you have these waterproof plug-and-play connectors and this in-between wiring lead. So each connection, line up the pins, twist this on, your lead is connected, and then on the other end, you take your rock light, do the exact same thing, make the connection, and that's pretty much all you got to do right there. There's no soldering, wiring involved, or anything like that. It's very user-friendly installation, and even if you have little to no mechanical experience, you can definitely install these.
And now, how many can I run in sequence there? How many lights can I put on my vehicle? I know it's at least 120.
Yeah, at least, right? So normally somebody will buy either an 8 or a 12-piece kit. And if you want to run more than 12, you'll actually receive 2 separate 12-piece modules or separate control boxes, which automatically sync up together. So really, you can have as many kits as you want and create as big of a setup of rock lights as you want with these rock lights from Adrenaline Off-Road.
And at Adrenaline Off-Road, it's not just the rock lights. You have some other stuff as well. We see the wheel lights on the Cummins over here. What are those like to install?
So the wheel lights pretty much go hand in hand with rock lights in a lot of scenarios. They sync up directly with them. For example, if you take out your phone to control the lights, you hit red, the rock lights and the wheel lights will both turn red at the same time. And as far as installation for the wheel lights go, it's the same thing. It's really not too bad. You just got to bolt them directly onto your dust shield. And then the wiring and everything towards your battery is the exact same as our rock lights.
Those are a couple options that are really good DIY options. Now here you have the Starlight headliner kit. That's something you might want to take to a pro because it involves pulling out the headliner and punching some holes in it, but it looks fantastic, just like a Rolls-Royce has, and you can have that in any vehicle. Now I know folks are probably watching saying, I've already installed some other lighting accessories on my vehicle, so how are those going to play along with these products from Adrenaline Off-Road? Am I going to need like 17 remotes to make it all work together?
So we have an all-in-one solution for that. We call it the multi-product controller, and all you got to do is wire in all of your 12-volt lighting accessories to this product, and this product connects to your battery, and you can control every single light on your vehicle from one remote.
Any 12-volt accessory?
Anything.
Well, Mitchell said it. It's affordable. It's a great way to call attention to your vehicle. You can find all of this at AdrenalineOffroadOutfitters.com, and there is a promotion for those who watch Motorhead Garage. Motorhead 10 will get you 10% off and free shipping. We'll be right back with Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com, so do not touch that dial.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. AP Laser, leading the way. And by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977.
So much power and so much fun. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. You know that power doesn't do you any good if you can't get it to the rear wheels. That's why we're talking about chain lube and maintenance. And if you ever replaced a chain on one of these bikes, you know it can be as easy as just replacing a master link, and or you may have to go get a chain breaker, bust it all apart. It's a tedious process, so you don't want to mess with it. Now, what goes on when a chain starts to wear? You can see it right here. The rollers, the pins, it starts to wear, and what happens? It starts jumping teeth. You're not getting power back there. Then the chain starts to stretch. You're getting a lot of slack. You're not getting the clutch feel. You're not taking off. It's a big problem. And Len, you ran this test. Tell me about it.
That was a 200-mile test, 5 hours, and we compared many different chain lubes. And we were looking at different things about wear on the pins, wear on the sprockets, just basic general wear protection of the product.
And you can see that. You can actually see the AMSOIL versus the competitor on the lube, on the actual chain link, and the sprocket itself. Now, what characteristics, what makes a good chain lube?
Right, there's a few things in there that you look to do. Because this chain lives in such a bad environment, it's dirty, it can be hot. The lube, it needs to be properly formulated, right, as any product would be. You've got anti-wear additive in there to keep the chain looking really nice. You've got some rust and corrosion protection in there because if you've ridden a dirt bike like I have, you're in the water with it sometimes. And then you want it to be sticky, but not too sticky that it attracts dirt. So it's a very fine balance. And those are the three things that we really were testing when we were running that test.
Now, AMSOIL does just that. Now, to put it on, it was super easy. We just jacked up the bike, cleaned the chain, made sure it was clean, sprayed it on there. And like you said, that was the neat part. As we were spraying it on there, you can kind of see it stick to it. Let it dry for 15 minutes. Then it wasn't tacky anymore, so we wasn't picking up any dirt. So, awesome product.
Exactly. Works as it's designed, proven by the testing. Go get yourself a can.
And you can do just that. Get yourself a can at AMSOIL.com. Those and so many other great products.
AG Products has an incredible line of car care products that can help you on the exterior and the interior. Really easy to use at home, but Dave, it's not just for the folks at home. What can you do for maybe the pro detailer out there?
This product was designed by detailers myself, 22 years in the game, and it was designed for detail shops. It's been great on the consumer level, but I would like to reference to the pros out there that this is something that's going to help you on your return on investment. It's not just an overhead. It's not something you just have to spend money on every month. You can get your money back out of these bottles. It's not just an overhead product that you have to, worry about every month to month. They're concentrated, they last long, and they do great on the car. Obviously, we've shown that today. But you can take, a bottle of this Twisted Apple, and you can get 10 interior details. And these detailers know what they're charging per interior detail. You do the math, and it adds up pretty quick.
And for the Twisted Apple, that's what you get out of it. Right there, you're using the strawberry lemonade wax there.
Yeah, the spray and wax.
Spray and wax. How long is that going to last me?
This bottle right here, I've tried to go through it in about 6 to 8 months. it doesn't happen. You really have to, use it a lot. So, this can always be a great reference to a professional detailer at the end of their exterior detail to shine it up real quick for the customer, clean up any little loose ends of loose wax. But to have this in your shop, it'll be there for most of the year for just this one bottle.
Naturally, the bottle's the easiest way to apply it to the car. Do you sell it in larger quantities for folks that are going through a bunch of it?
Yeah. We can sell to dealerships or we can sell to pro detail shops. We can do everything from a 55-gallon drum all the way down to a 1-gallon jug and everything in between.
If you're a pro or you're doing it at home or anywhere in between, shopagproducts.com has everything you need to make your car look great. We found our Motorhead of the Week at Steel Rubber at an auto show in July. It's John Davis, owner of a great-looking 1940 Ford Deluxe. He actually bought it from a former NASCAR driver a few years ago. The car has all the modern bells and whistles, power steering, power brakes, a tilt wheel, cruise control, and my favorite, air conditioning. And those things, along with a 350 small block under the hood, he says make it a joy to drive all over the place. John says the original builder stayed true to the original design by keeping the body lines, and he even used period-correct materials for the interior. When John's not driving this beauty around, he volunteers at Veterans Community Alliance in Lincolnton, North Carolina. They provide low-cost or no-cost auto repairs for veterans and their families if they're in need. Now, VCA runs solely on donations and hard work from volunteers like John Davis. It's easy to be our Motorhead of the Week. All you have to do is drop us a note at motorheadgarage.tv and tell us your story. It's also easy to find the latest aftermarket gear for your vehicle without leaving your living room. Just tune in to Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com every week. We hope you do it again next week because we're going to be here. Until then, we'll see you.